Hey guys, Tomboy601, and it is patch notes day, and it's also my first video in a little bit. Sorry about that. We'll have a different video explaining kind of what's going on with the channel. It's it's a little complicated. Life has gotten in the way somewhat, and hopefully we'll return to regularly scheduled content in the near future. But today it's patch notes day, and there are tons of exciting things and a couple of things that we need to talk about. So we're just gonna kind of dive on in. The March update is all that is gold does not glitter. Headline of the campaign, the Gold Runner campaign, is the Sommers. She was the lead ship of her class, and she saw actions in various naval theaters from the South Atlantic and the Mediterranean. Her most notable performance, however, was outside of the battlefield, where the ship transported a consignment of gold from England to New York, and that's the key to the campaign. Her 8 rapid reloading guns and up to 12 torpedoes at once make Sommers a true threat. Add her to her top speed of 38.6 knots, and you have a true born winner. I think Sommer, most notably known because I believe it got kind of taken off sale on the PC version, given how strong it was. Now, we've kind of seen what would I consider to be the legacy ship of the Sommers, the Benham. They're both kind of American torpedo boats, which also the Benham was considered a little on the strong side over on PC, and I think it's much more balanced in this game. So I don't know if we're really going to have a super powerful, should not be forever for sale, and you got to pick up this campaign ship. But I am excited because Benham is low-key one of my favorite tier 6 ships, and to get another American torpedo boat that I can run Gleaves on, I'm more than happy. As far as what you'll get, so if you don't buy the Admiralty backing, so if you just kind of go through the campaign, you're going to receive 75 common boosters, 12 Type 1 camouflages, 12 Type 2 camouflages, 12 Type 3 camouflages, 7 red, white, and blue camouflages, 310,000 Commander XP, 400,000 credits, 3,500 global XP, 14 promotion orders, 1 insignia, 1 commendation, 7 days of premium account time, 2 winter big crates, 1 American Commander crate, 1 patch note, and 1 patch symbol. If you decide to then purchase the campaign, on top of all of that, you will receive 75 rare boosters, 20 Type 1 camos, 20 Type 2 camos, 20 Type 3 camos, 14 red, white, and blue camouflages, 140,000 Commander XP, 2.6 million credits, 27,500 global XP, 26 promotion orders, 3 insignias, 3 commendations, 750 balloons, 6 winter big crates, and the American Tier 7 destroyer, Sommers. The campaign comprises of 100 milestones, so if you wanted to buy them out from the beginning, you're looking at 27,250 doubloons. The full breakdown of the campaigns and missions will be available on Monday, March 7th. Next, top of the morning to you guys, St. Patrick's Day of 2022. May the best day of your past be the worst day of your future. It's time to celebrate the greenest holiday of the year with this update. As usual, we prepared some special themed content. First off, we're getting more use of the guises. Brady McMordiff, Commander Guise, the alleged leprechaun himself. You'll be able to give him a try and see everything in green, so I'm sure just all of the tracers are going to be green with this guy. He'll be available for use with British and American historical camos. St. Patrick's ensemble for the other things that will be included is a St. Patrick's ensemble skin for the Tiger 59. That is one of the premium ships for this update. A new St. Patrick's Day flag, which allegedly boosts your luck by 200%. If there was actual luck, I doubt there's anything to actually do with that. And then we have the Belfast returning to the store for 12,500 doubloons, and then the pot of gold. The pot of gold kind of purchases containers will also return. Basically, you purchase them with real money. You're guaranteed 1,250 doubloons. You get 3 St. Patty's Days camo, and then it has a chance of dropping the green skins for Belfast and Tiger, commander progression items, credits, and even a super rise if you're Leprechaun lucky. They will have the exact drop rates when the update launches over on wowslegends.com/containers. So be on the lookout for that. We'll break it down. Last year, I thought they were a fairly good way, if you were going to buy crates anyways, to kind of have a chance of instead of getting bonus doubloons for purchasing large amounts of doubloons to getting some other kind of items, and that's where the kind of risk reward comes in for them. Now, we this next thing is something especially fast. Prepare to race starting March 21st. More to follow. Of course, we know that there's a Hot Wheels collaboration coming in. I've seen a lot of anger in the community about this. I'm fully on board for it. I look forward. Over the PC has kind of shown off the skins over there. I think they look great over there. And then we get this teaser image of a beautiful non-warboat. It's the Arno 11. It's a Ferrari-powered hydro boat from like the 50s, meant to set a water speed record, and it is just a gorgeous piece of art. I'll be starting a GoFundMe because currently it's for sale for $14 million. So if you want to, help fund, if you have a couple million lying around and want to help me display a beautiful work of art, just donate 14 million on the next stream. Next up, Italian battleships arrive in full force. As I'm sure you're aware, the lower tiers 3 through 6 have been available for the past update, but with this one, not only do they move the tech tree and easily researchable, we also get the Vittorio Veneto, which is the tier 7 added to the tech tree. So once you get through the tier 6, you can get up to Vittorio Veneto. The Italian battleships, they've been a ton of fun. The SAP secondaries have been way more effective than I think I was expecting, and having the exhaust smoke with them has just been oh so much fun. After that, well, it's kind of a weird thing. It's going to be an awkward topic. Soviet carriers are making their way into the game. The kind of quirks and features of them, well, they'll have skip bombers and unique full squadron attacks. You'll be able to research them after fully researching and unlocking the tier 3 Gangut. The names of these ships are very hard to pronounce, so bear with me as I say the tier 3 is going to be the Komsomolets, the tier 5 is the Serov, and the tier 7 is the Pobeda, with the commander also having a very hard name to pronounce. Yevgeny Preobrazhensky is here to lead the squadrons into battle. You can obtain this perfect officer of the Soviet carriers through a dedicated free set of missions via commander crates or for 900,000 commander XP in the store. Aircraft, the final tier 7 aircraft carrier will all have its feature of its own JATO or jet assisted takeoff unit equipped squadrons, which helps the planes get up quicker. Importantly, the tier 3 aircraft carrier does not have skip bombs in her arsenal. You'll have to wait until the tier 5 to try them out. So that is what's up with Soviet carriers, and I think it's prescient to talk about the current goings-ons in the world. I do feel for wargaming here because I have a feeling this sort of content kind of planned months or even maybe up to a year in advance, and given the current situation, I don't think they would have enjoyed what's going on, and I don't think there is going to be a good time for them to launch this. We could ask them to delay it given the current Russian invasion of Ukraine, but honestly, is there ever going to be a right time? I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where it's probably going to be best just to get whatever controversy this is going to stir out of the way in these relatively early days of the invasion, because I have a feeling this is going to stir some controversy up in the community. I don't think it's intentional on their end. Like I said, I think this stuff gets planned months, if not years in advance. Not years, but up to a year in advance. And it's not like they had ideas or knew that this was going to coincide with the current world events. So just try to keep that in mind if you're going to spout some hate at wargaming. Just I don't think they intended for this to happen. And given the way software works, if they held it, it might have ended up holding other features because these ships may be tied to other features down the line. So if they didn't release it and just kind of hit it, then people might get mad that like, oh, you put content in the game that you won't even like. It could just be a whole other thing. So all I'm going to say is try to be good people to the people of wargaming right now. I believe they have a studio in Ukraine. They have coworkers who are dealing with this. You know, timing is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, so having talked about that, let's move on to the new ships of the update. The first one is the Tier 4 Hill. She is an American destroyer. She's fast and handles well with rapid reloading guns and a smoke generator that lasts a long time. A classic American destroyer is at your service. 3 torpedo launchers are included. And I believe this also kind of coincides with the Hot Wheels DLC that we know about, but we don't know about. Over on the PC, they're also receiving the Hill, and they have an amazing skin that is going to go along with it that looks just fantastic. So I'm really hoping that we are getting it over here, because that would be absolutely fantastic. Next up, the other new premium ship of this update is the Tier 6 Tiger 59. Usually when they do this, it means that there's also another ship called the Tiger, because it's in its 1959 configuration. In this case, we just have this Tiger, which it feels a bit odd unless we're going to get the other Tiger soon. But anyways, it has accurate guns, the ability to equip smoke generator and radar simultaneously, and great maneuverability. Makes this British cruiser a dangerous threat. Beware of the symbol of this year, because of course it is also the year of the Tiger. Overall, I'm kind of excited for this. I love British light cruisers, and one with smoke and radar is going to be fun. So here, I'm looking forward to it. Next, we also have a new Global XP ship, or a returning Global XP ship. If you pay attention to the online's accounts, you may have already seen it announced, but Tier 7 Champagne will be returning to the game for 750,000 Global XP. Overall, I think Champagne's a fun ship. Some of the longest ranged guns in the game. Very, very accurate, but it can be sort of overwhelming because you only have, I think, 6 shells to really put out damage. And if you're not hitting citadels, you just don't end up doing a ton of damage in that ship. But it's a fun one. If you didn't pick the ship up when it was available in the campaign, maybe worth a look. Next up, let's get into balance changes, and there are some exciting ones in here. So it's only natural with the new carriers incoming that existing ones are getting tweaked. The balancing logic is very simple this time. The carriers that were changed ended up lagging a bit behind their peers, so we're giving them a much needed boost. You might consider the Shokaku buff to be a bit conservative, but let's see what happens. While it's widely believed that a high tier carrier lack damage and earnings, they actually beat battleships in this regard, with the caveat of battleships being a much more popular ship type. That being said, we're boosting Tier 3 and Tier 7 credit earning modifiers by a few percents to make the ships a little more attractive to those who normally avoid them. And then we will have the following kind of balance changes. On the Tier 3 Langley, damage from both dive bombers and torpedo bombers is being increased by 5%, and the speed of those planes being increased by 10 knots. On the Tier 7 Shokaku, concealment for dive bombers is improved from 10 to 7.5 kilometers. Aircraft restoration stock for dive bombers is being increased from 66 to 70 seconds, and aircraft restoration time for upgraded dive bombers is being decreased from 76 to 65 seconds. So, we're getting a buff on the higher end, which is nice. British Tier 3 Hermes, the maximum bob, and this is the one that probably needed it the most. I think Tier 3 Hermes was just a bit rough to play. Max bomb damage is going to go from 2,400 to 3,200. Max torpedo damage is going to be going from 13,800 to 14,500. Speed for torpedo bombers is going to increase by 5 knots. Torpedo arming time reduced from 3.5 to 3 seconds. Torpedo speed increased from 35 to 40 knots. And torpedo spotting range increased by about 15%. The German Tier 7 August von Parzival, the damage from both dive bombers and torpedo bombers is being reduced by 5%. However, there are not only changes being implemented, we're bringing in changes for 2 destroyers. So the Tier 6 Minsk, well, it turns out kind of overbaked. If you remember, it received a massive buff, and they are going to downgrade it a little. The first thing is the upgrade artillery preset reload time changed from 3.5 to 4 seconds, and then the reload time for both torpedo presets is being changed from 101 to 110 for stock and 98 to 110 for the upgraded. Still keeping the new torpedoes on there, which is nice. I think this is a kind of nice middle ground compared to the old changes. Next, the Pan-Asian Tier 7 Haisiang is also getting a buff. Haisiang was a bit subpar compared to her peers, as she's not the best in knife fights with her torpedoes, and they do require particular targets. Not wanting to make her too universal, we're doubling down on her torpedoes, so implementing the correct playstyle with her will be rewarded accordingly. Torpedo increased, max range increase from 9 to 10.1 kilometers, which is a nice little buff, and the damage on those torpedoes is going from 17,000 to 18,000. And finally, the big one, the thing that is going to get a lot of people excited. This isn't a balance change, but it's balance adjacent. You can now set a priority target for your secondary armament, woo, as well as turn AA guns on and off when you're in a destroyer. To do that, go to your quick command wheel and use the appropriate buttons depicted on the right. Gunlock has also been added to this panel, which will be especially useful for presets without gunlock. Yeah, we may be changing up some presets, because if I don't have to use gunlock and I can use the other, there's one other kind of preset that lets you kind of lock where your guns are aiming and still fire them. We may be doing that because it makes for better footage overall. Next, there are a couple of bug fixes. A lot of them aren't really that important. It's little things like single fire, single tube torpedo launching has been renamed single launcher for on Huang Ha. Like little things like that, nothing too important. The more important stuff is the stuff down in the miscellaneous tab. First off, Xbox Series X now supports ray traced shadows. You'll most likely see the improvements when looking at ships' small details. To make sure that ray tracing is on, you have to run the game at the 4K in ray tracing enabled support on your console. Next, the HUD minimap is now a higher resolution and has a brighter objective borders. That's nice. They tweaked the map borders for the domination mode of Sea of Fortune, Warrior's Path, and Northern Water maps. Next, the thing that I know a ton of people I always see asking about in the beautiful and wonderful Facebook group, any unspent winter coins will now convert at exchange rate of 1 winter coin for 1,500 credits. And finally, visual improvements have been made to the water on the following maps: Island, Big Race, and Polar. So, guys, that is all of the patch notes. Like I said, I think it is a relatively good kind of patch. I'm excited to see the new Soviet carriers implemented. The skip bombs, I hear, are kind of very easy to use. So we'll see how that affects the use rate of carriers in this game, because I do feel like carriers not really used a lot in this game, especially in the upper tiers. They kind of go through ebbs and flows. I'm super excited about the Hot Wheels content. I know we didn't get a lot of details on it, but the boat that they're teasing is beautiful. And if we're going to be racing, I'm a big racing fan. It's kind of one of my things. Gran Turismo comes out this week, and I'll be playing that for the weekend, because I mean, that and Horizon. God, there's so many games to play. So we have the Italian battleships coming to texture. I think this is going to be a solid update, guys. I'm very much looking forward to it. So, guys, if you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya.